everybody. I'm Greg.
And I'm Katie. Welcome to the Meeple Society. Today we are on episode 111, part 2 of the V's.
The last of the V's.
The last of the V's. Well, there wasn't that many, so thank goodness. But before we get started, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon if you want notification of future content.
And click the link below. That'll take you to all of our social media.
All right.
10 games.
Yes. Nice, easy games. Well, most of them.
And we're going to visualize that we're almost done with this.
Nice segue. Okay. Yes.
See how I did that?
I did. That was good. That was good. All right. So VisualEyes. This was a Goodwill find several years back, many years back. It looks very intriguing. I mean, look at all these gorgeous dice, right? Look at these. There's so many dice, and they all have pictures on them. And okay, so the general idea with this, there's two ways to play it. And actually, you play the full game, but there's two modes of play. And that is all determined by this dice here that says slow play or fast play. So at the start of the round, start of the game, somebody, you put all the dice into the box and you shake them up. And I'm not going to do that because it's really, really loud.
Oh, come on.
And then you get all these pictures. Mm-hmm. And the idea is you have to make phrases or words out of these pictures. Mm-hmm. If you hit fast play, then fast play is the one where you're writing it all down. You have the span of the timer to write down as many words as you can come up with out of the list. And everybody's doing the same thing. Any duplicated words are crossed out, you get points for what's left. Slow play, one at a time, going round robin. One person is looking for a word out here, and then the next person looks. And it just goes back and forth until nobody can come up with any more words. And by words, and I'm sure by now you probably have 5 or 6 of them already, because I'm horrible at this.
Yeah, saw table.
Or table saw, yeah. Saw table, saw.
For us dyslexics, it's saw table.
Okay.
For the normal people, it's table saw.
Yeah, that was the first one I saw too. Oh my God.
Handgun.
Did you show people a handgun? See, there's the handgun. Although it looks like a water pistol, but it's still a handgun. Oh, nope, there you go. That's the general idea. I really suck at this game. So I am not good at coming up with these, yeah. See,
Digging a grave.
Oh, okay.
Hey, guy's digging and there's a cross.
No, that's fair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna let this one go. It's cute. Don't get me wrong. It is cute, but it is not something we will ever pull off the shelf, and I am really, really bad at it. Mm-hmm. So, but I do love these big chunky dice, though. They're awesome. All right, that is VisualEyes, and it is going to leave the collection. All right.
Next is Voltage.
This is another Mattel game. I don't even remember where I found this one. I think I found
probably
it
at Target or something.
Well, maybe, but I feel like this was a Goodwill find, but I don't see the remnants of the sticker.
Target. Ooh,
Yikes.
it's going everywhere
Things just
now.
spill out now. Okay, so here's the idea. This is it's a card game. And the idea is you want to win your side of the board. So get a couple score markers, and then you've got these plus and minus signs for each one of the colors. And these sit in the middle of the table, and they start in a specific orientation, whether it be plus side up or negative side up. All right, so the general idea, you have 3 options on your turn. You can play a card and draw a card. You can play 2 cards on 2 completely separate numbers, 2 separate colors, I'm sorry, or you can pass and just draw 2 cards. Now, there are some specialty cards out here, so we'll back up first. The basic idea is you are wanting to get the highest number when that 5th card hits the pile or hits the section. If it's a plus, you want the highest value, the highest total. If it's a negative, you want the lowest total. So if I play a 3 here, and I'm only playing 1 card, I simply draw up. Now here's the catch though. This particular one, if I pull up a transformer card, which is there's like 12 of these in the entire deck, I can flip over any of these I want. Doesn't matter which one, I can flip it over. Maybe I've got a whole bunch of purple cards in my hand. So yeah, I'm going to attempt to get the highest, so I want to turn this over to a plus. Now I don't, so that would be silly, but I could. I do have some blues in my hand though, so let's turn that blue over instead, because I can actually maybe shoot for that. Now, of course, Greg's going to flip something right back. Yeah, I figured that would happen. So, all right, we'll go after this blue then. And I draw a card. Oop, come on. Oh, darn, no transformer. Now, there are some specialty cards. There is the, oh my gosh, I forgot what the 2 arrows are called, but play the 2 arrows. That one lets you swap 2 cards around. So I could do this. Now, well, let's do this. Greg would play it on my side and then swap our cards. Now that would be silly since he just did the plus. This does count as one of the 5 cards though. The other thing he can do is play down the X and literally grab any card off my side and discard it. It just literally leaves the game. That drastically changes the balance. So the whole game is just playing out cards in order to either have the highest or lowest and to move these around to make sure you get what you need. I adore this game.
First 1 to 5 wins.
Yeah, first 1 to 5 wins.
On the side.
Yeah, I absolutely love this little game. It is such a neat little 2-player card game. Not hard, but still thinky enough to make it challenging. So yeah, I really adore this little game. But anyway, that is Voltage, and it is sticking around. All right.
Then we have
Vineta.
Vineta, Atlantis of the North.
Atlantis of the North. Okay. I just assumed it was based on...
Because it's sinking.
Well, that's true, and Venice,
Venice
is sinking. Venice is sinking.
Because all the wooden piers it's on is finally rotting away.
Although I don't think this is, according to this is not based on Venice, but that's...
No, Vineta, if I'm not mistaken, is it Venice?
I think so.
I don't think Vineta is Venice.
Okay, well, maybe. Did the legendary city of Vineta truly exist? If Vineta did exist, then what happened to it? So no, I don't think this is based on Venice. You're right. I just always assumed it was. Anyway, all right, so Vineta. This is a modular board. Well, it's a piece together puzzle board, I should say. It's not necessarily modular because it's laid out in the exact same fashion every game. But you put the pieces together, and this is going to take a minute to figure out how these go together.
There's a picture of
Oh, is there a picture of how it goes together? See, I did not set this up. See, that is not right. It goes like that. See, I can figure it out without the picture. That has to go there. This one, I feel like, has to go there. And that one goes there. Ha-ha. See? I don't need no stinking picture.
It's a game in itself.
It is.
To put it together.
Nope, this one has to go over here. It's too rounded. Okay, so there's your board.
Game over.
All right, so everybody has a deck of cards. Now, all the decks are identical. The only difference literally is the picture on the back. There's also a whole stack of houses. And you do not have a specific color. However, there are some cards in here that assign you a color. So, and it's all random. There are some cards in here at the very beginning of the game before you put out the houses. You know what color you're shooting for and how that particular color will score for you. So there you go. So say I pull the purple one. I want to make sure that either the purple houses stay on the board or when they do come off the board, I'm the one who gets them. That being said, if anybody figures out I'm purple, I'm not getting very many more purples.
Right. So
you also get one tile, and this is again all random. You get one tile that identifies the section of the city you need to try to make sure stays afloat. The game ends when there's only one section of city left. Everything else has sunk. So I am shooting for this guy. G? Yep,
I think that
this
was
guy.
what you were at last time.
I am shooting for this guy. That is the one that stayed afloat last time.
I had an outer one.
I had it because in a 2-player game we played 2 hands. It was really very confusing. All right, so you start off the game by everybody, one at a time, placing out houses all over the city. Just doesn't matter where. They're putting out houses. Maybe if it's your color, you're trying to protect them by getting in the middle, but trust me, they're going to move. So you do that to the whole board, and I grabbed all 2 colors, didn't I? There we go. See, there's going to be all sorts of colors all over the board. All right, so then everybody has their deck of cards and their God token. On your turn, if there are any areas that are accessible to the ocean that have not already started to sink this round, you can claim that that area is in danger by putting out your God token on that area. And I'm going to put it back here because I don't know if that front part is visible. So we'll do this. There we go. Now I can make it visible. I have 7 cards in my hand. Now, there are a number of different cards here. There are just straight up number cards. And when I go to say this area is in danger, I have to lay a number card down saying, okay, that's the danger level. It's at a 2. The next player in line, and then I draw back up to my whatever my hand limit is. The next player in line can either add to this, yes, they want this section to sink, or they can declare a different section in danger, or a different section in danger. Once one section disappears, now these 2 sections are eligible to be put in danger. So there's now 4 available that are open to the sea. So everybody does this. Everybody lays down all their cards. There are cards that either plus or minus, you can add, maybe somebody else is going for this district and it's got a whole lot on it. I could do a -7 to it and kind of wipe out some of their damage. There are ways to move cards from one stack to another stack. There are ways to make sure we play an extra card that round or 1 less card that round. You play 3 cards in a round. More number cards. Ways to move houses around. All sorts of different stuff in here. More houses moving. Here's a way to just simply take a house off the board. There's ways to protect entire districts. Nope, nothing in this district can leave this round. It's protected. Things like that, or you can't move them around. So you're playing out cards, 3 in a round, 8 total rounds until only 1 district remains standing. When everybody's played their 3 cards, or 2 or 4, depending on what's been played, whichever district has the highest danger count, then that district, the houses on it, starting with the person who declared it as being in danger, chooses a house. And then the next person who added to the pile chooses a house. And you keep going down the row of cards until everybody either has a house or there's none left.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, you score up the houses. Whoever has the last remaining district, whoever's district was safe, gets a certain number of points based on the ring that it's in. You get points for every one of your houses on the remaining district. You also get points for every one of your houses you have managed to accumulate. You get points for every house you accumulate. Like you get 1 for each house, 2 for your color house.
Yes.
And 3 if your color house is still surviving.
You're a little part of the land.
Right. I mean, it might be better with more players.
Yeah, this says
At
it's a
2-player,
2 to
it's
6
not.
player game.
It's
really a 3 to 6 player game.
We've tried it both ways at the 2-player variant.
Yes.
And neither way was very good.
Yeah, because you have to play with
either a dummy player or each player plays 2
each
hands.
player 2 hands. And that's how we played it the last time.
Yes.
First time we played it with Dirk.
Very confusing. This one's leaving the collection. I think we've played it 3 times total now in the 10 years we've had it.
We've had it for a while.
And it would not have come off the shelf this time if it were not for this challenge.
Came out 2008.
Yeah.
We didn't buy it then. But.
No, we bought it in like 15. Anyway, it is leaving the collection. I feel like it would be a good game at 6. It'd be very challenging at 6. But it has to be 6 players who like cutthroat.
Yeah.
Because it is very cutthroat. And we're not that either. Yeah. All right.
Next we have an upside down box. Vis-a-vis.
Well, it's not upside down to them. All right. So this particular one, here's your board. It plays in 2 rounds. You have 1 player who is putting the pieces out, and one player who is moving them around. So the player who is putting them out takes a piece and puts it on the board. The other player can move that piece in a straight line, up or down, and you can move any piece on the board. It doesn't have to be the one just placed, but it can only go in a straight line, horizontally or vertically, until it hits a block. You can't just pick it up and move it across the board. What fun would that be? The idea is you're wanting to set up patterns in order to score. And the patterns have to be so that a set of 2 or more, between 2 and 5 pieces in a line, are the same backwards and forwards. So if I set this up, if Greg put the pieces out and I managed to set this up, this is 3 points. Because I can go backwards and forwards, it's exactly the same. If I did this, now it's actually more points, because this is 3 points, but then so is this. Because this is a grouping and this can be a grouping and they can overlap. But if I had managed to get that done,
that'd have been 5.
This is 3 points. This is 5 points. So this is an 8-point row. Now, mind you, these pieces are being put out one at a time. It's not as easy as it sounds, because while you're trying to get things put into place, the other person is trying to block you by putting them into places that you can't get to them.
Yes.
Or to block where he thinks you're going to move a piece to. So it's not as easy as it sounds, but it's still kind of intriguing. You play a full round, you score it up, then you reverse sides and you play another round and you score it up, and whoever has the best score wins. I love the pieces to this. I love the challenge.
Oh yeah, these are really cool.
The pieces are just, they are really pretty. That being said, we are going to let it go. You did not particularly enjoy it.
No.
I like the challenge, but it's not something I can play by myself. And I don't think it would ever come off the shelf with anybody else. So, gosh darn it, somehow the box got turned. I turned it originally. Anyway, so this one is going to leave the collection. Really neat strategy game for 2 players, though. I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right.
Next, we're going to spin some vinyl with vinyl.
Heavy box.
Yes, it is. This
Okay.
is the original version of it.
Yes, this is the first version of it. It has had a reprint with different artwork. So the idea with this one, you're running maybe not running one, you're shopping at a number of different record stores.
You're building your record collection.
Yes, you are building your record collection at a number of different stores. And you have, and I'll show some of the cards here that are not wrapped up. Here we go.
Well, they're wrapped up.
They're wrapped up, yes. So all of the cards look something like this. Now, when you first see them in the record rack, they look like so. And these are all spoofs of real artists and real covers.
Yeah, and it's very noticeable in the Masters of Metal.
Well, for you maybe, but yeah. I like this one, Rogers Kenny.
That one's easy.
Being a Kenny Rogers fan, yeah, this was easy. Anyway, so on each of these cards, you're looking at a number of different things. You're looking at the genre, in this case, country. You're looking at the time frame, the 60s. You're looking at whether it is, there's a mint leaf that shows up on some of these that identify it as being in mint condition, if I can find one without taking this whole pack apart.
I don't think I ever put that together.
That's the mint leaf. That indicates mint condition. I only did because I looked it up. And then there's a limited edition label as well. So there's 4 different pieces of information on these. And then there's also the record label, whether it's early decade or late decade, and those all go into final scoring. You've got your victory points down here in the corner, and all these are the same way. And I love the first player token. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole game. This is the first
If you
player
know,
token.
you
It
know.
would have been better as plastic,
Yes.
not cardboard, but I love this.
I like
I think
this.
this is just ingenious.
This is from the British Invasion. Can you name that band? Let me see if they can see it. I don't know if they're going to notice it or not.
It says
though,
Pink 2 on the bottom, doesn't it?
No.
Is that what it says? Pink Fluid. It's Pink Floyd. Just by the writing, I can tell it's Pink Floyd, and I don't even know. I don't listen to Pink
You don't
Floyd.
listen to Pink Floyd.
I don't listen
I was
to Pink
surprised
Floyd.
you got it.
Yeah, no, but I know the logo though, and the logo's the same. It's just spelled differently. So I love the spoofs. I feel like I wonder if they tried to get some of the rights to the names and just, or if they just didn't even bother. They
Probably
just
didn't bother
decided to
to
spoof
spoof it all.
Yeah. But you got to wonder how many of these bands would have said, heck yeah, that's a cool idea. Use my name.
Yeah.
But, oh well. Anyway,
We need to get this back out because we got a bunch of other
we have a lot of
to play.
expansions we have not played yet, yes. All right, so here is your board.
It's the record shop.
Yes, this is the record shop. And off to the side are some different awards that you get based on the size of your collection. You can pick those up for extra points. Down here's the sales bin. These are the ones that are discounted. You only got to pay one. You pay one less resource to pick it up. Now, mind you, and I'll come back to how you do that. But here's your record bins. And as records are pulled off, they just move down and new ones get replaced in them. Now, this is a worker placement. You are bouncing between all of these different locations, doing different things. Going down here to the sales bin. You're going up here to pick up records. You're going up here to pick up magazine stuff off the magazine rack. Makes no sense, but that's okay. Over here, you're picking up endgame scoring cards. This is the 3 to 4 player side. So you've got two different bins there. Now, here's the big trick though. As you go to a place, if there's anybody else there, you just bounce them down. They just bounce down to the bottom. They still get a benefit, but they get kicked down to the bottom action. So you don't lose anything by being bounced off of an area. And then on your turn, you just pick yourself up and go someplace else and probably bounce somebody else off. All right, so there is a magazine rack up at the very top, and the magazine rack gives you the icons you need in order to pick up some of those records. So, for example, this one is Jazz.
50s.
Jazz and the 50s. Now, remember how that other one said I needed country? It was country, or the Kenny Rogers one, or the Rogers Kenny one, said I needed country. Well, there's my country icon. I needed the 60s. There's my 60s icon. And I needed it to be limited edition. There's my limited edition icon. I could use all three of these in order to buy that Rogers Kenny album. Now, there are some that they'll have multiples on there. Like here's a country and limited edition. Great. I could use this one along with the 60s icon and pick it up and only have to use 2 cards. So it's set collection, it's worker placement. I really enjoy this game.
Yes, I do too.
So, 2 more cards. And we've played it twice. We played with the base game, and then we turned around and played with the heavy metal, and it adds a couple more things to it. Nothing major. But really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed it until we pulled it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to have to get this one
would be
back
interesting
out.
with more than 2 players. So.
Yes, I agree. This would be good with more than 2 players. All right, that is vinyl. And we're going to hold on to this one. It's correct. Did you see him trying to look?
And it shows you on the back of the box, it has little plastic miniatures, which are different guitars.
They'd have been better if they were painted.
If they were painted, or if we had the little rings that would change the colors on them.
Yeah,
So you know whose is whose. Because right now they're all gray.
Yeah.
And unless you really look at it and remember what guitar you had.
That's what they should have done, is they should have included rings to put on them.
Well, this is
You
the
could
first
also
edition,
you could also just paint the bases
Yeah.
a different color, which I saw somebody recommend. But anyway, which we might do.
Because other than that, you're just using a little meeple.
The wood
around.
meeple, yeah.
That would make it more thematic, I think.
I agree.
That'd
I
be
agree.
cool.
Anyway, it is going to stick around in case you hadn't figured that out yet.
Okay. The Village Crone.
Okay. This isn't, I don't want to call it open world, because really you're not moving anywhere. You're just moving everybody else around.
Yeah.
So the board is 100% modular on this one. You have these, but they really don't do anything other than give you your spells.
They hide your components.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right. So the board is modular. You have all these different locations, 6 different locations, and you set up the board in any fashion you wish. It could be just a straight up rectangle. You could vary it a little bit, make it a little harder, however. You set up the board with decks of cards with different spell components in each location. Here in the Forge, you set up the fire components. Here in the Lord's Manor, you set up the silver. The Village Green doesn't get anything. Over here in the mill, you set up the flour. At the farm, you set up the dirt. And then the Lith Barn or Lithe Barn.
Lithe Barn is where the priest starts
is where the priest starts out, but here
basically you
is
pay your taxes.
Yeah, it's a
spell
discard
components.
pile.
Yeah.
So at the end of every turn, after you've collected your components, and you collect your components based on where your little minions are at around the board. But after you've collected all your components, if one of your little minions is not right here, or your familiars, I guess they are. If one of your little familiars is not here, then you have to pay a tax to them. You have to discard one of your spell components here. But you are using your spell components to move people around the board, to cast spells on the different characters. And there's all these different characters. There's the Lord, there's the blacksmith, there's a farmer, and the peasant, and the priest, and somebody else.
And you get a certain amount of movement.
You get 6 movement each turn, and you can move one of your little minions, or you can move one of the characters around, and you just move them from place to place. You move them from place to place between 2 locations. Now, there are spells that will just instantly transport them to a different location. It will compel them to move to that location on their own. There are ways to make 2 people fall in love. There are ways to turn them into frogs. There are ways to bind locations so nobody can enter or leave it. But you are casting spells on the different characters in the game in order to meet objectives.
Goal objectives.
You have various goal objectives valued at 1, 2, and 3 points. The goal is to get to 13 points. You have various cards, and you have 3 at any one time that might state, move the miller to the Lord's Manor and make them fall in love. Okay, so you can either move the miller across town, one by one, 6 spaces at a time, or you can cast a spell to what is it? It's called summoning. Move a villager or any one familiar to any location except for the Village Green containing one of your familiars. So as long as I have a familiar at the Lord's Manor, I can just cast a summoning spell and move the miller there.
As long as you have the components.
As long as I have the components. In this case, it requires 1 flour and 1 ingredient from my target location, which would be silver, because I'm trying to get her to the Lord's Manor. Once she's there, then I could cast a love spell and make the 2 of them fall in love, provided nobody else has moved the Lord in the meantime. It was, okay.
Or turn them into a frog.
There's always that possibility, because maybe that's what one of their cards said.
Well, I had the one where I had to get the farmer and the miller together.
Yeah.
Make them fall in love, and then turn both of them into frogs.
Oh, jeez. So, it was interesting. It's going to leave the collection. It's not something we'll ever pull off, but it was an interesting concept for the game. Now the rules state you have to actually cast the spell, say the incantation.
Yes.
Okay.
We didn't do
Maybe
that.
on Halloween that would be fun. But yeah, it is going to leave the collection.
I think I had
but it was
more
an
fun
interesting game.
the second time we played this
I agree.
than the first.
The first time I did not like it.
It already was out of our main collection.
Yes, this had gotten moved over to the travel collection a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it is going to leave the collection now. But it was cute.
Yep.
It was cute. All right.
Next we have
Village. We go from Village Crone to just the Village.
Yeah, just the Village.
I
And this is
pieces move.
first edition of Village.
It is. This is the first edition of Village.
It's because we have an insert.
Yeah, and the pieces are, I heard pieces move.
Yeah,
I'm
they're just
sure
moving
there's-
around in there. Although
Okay.
last time we opened up, the grain got away from everything.
It did. The grain was all over the box. Okay.
The board
so
is on the bottom.
The board
the board's over there.
The board's right here. I was going to say, why would we put the board on the bottom of an insert? Okay. Here is your board. Now, we do have both expansions with this, and we did play with all the expansions. The 2 that were out.
Almost all the expansions, because there was
a
gold
little
cards,
mini.
too.
Yeah, there was a little mini. Okay, so here's your board. Now, like I said, we played with the port expansion, which adds a seaside area up here instead of the countryside. We also played with not the pub. What is that expansion called?
The inn.
The inn.
The inn goes here.
Yep, the inn goes here. And then you've also got a little brew
up the
house right
graveyard.
here. Yes. And then you have two separate graveyard
Port
boards.
goes up there.
Yep. Okay. Now the port is sinking.
The port sinking?
Something's sinking.
Or it's expanding on into the
There
city.
you go. All right. So the way this works, this is a worker placement of sorts. At the very beginning of each round, you are going to seed the board with a number of colored cubes. And amongst the colored cubes, and that all changes based on player count, amongst the colored cubes are 6 disease cubes. Now, each player has, and did you pull them out already?
What are you looking for?
The character boards. Nope, they're right
character
here.
boards?
They're right here.
Yes. Each player has a homestead or a farm or whatever
Each
it was.
player has a homestead, and on your homestead is this time track. And this time track, you have a disc that just tracks your time. And this tracks the generational. This tells you when you have to kill your people. So.
You don't kill them, they die because of old age.
Okay, they die of old age. You just have to decide
you're just
which
cruel.
one does.
I'm going to kill this guy off.
You just have to decide which one does. Okay, so you start the game with all of your Generation 1 people. And with your time disc right here on the other side of the, the bridge. At the start of each round, you seed the board. And every time you pick up a black disease cube, you have to tick your disc up 1 time notch. There are all sorts of stuff here on the board that require time. Time is a valid function all over the place, and every time you cross one of those time symbols, you got to tick your mark up 1. And as soon as you cross that bridge, you have to pick one of your Generation 1 people or your oldest generation, because as the game goes on, you're going to have people from Generations 2, 3, and 4 as well. By the time you get to Generation 4, if you have any of, Generation 1 left, they're ready for retirement.
It's like
Anyway.
great grandfathers and
It'd be
mothers
great, because it's great, then grand, then mom, then kids. Generation 4 are the youngins.
The youngins.
The youngins. So anyway, around the board, there's a number of things you can do. You can go here to get more family members, and that's how you pull some of your future generations out. You can go up here to the council area and get various things and be on the council, but to do so costs you time. You can, in the base game, you explore the landscape. You take out and you go making deliveries around town, around the various cities. With the expansion, you're going out to the various islands in the ocean or in the sea.
Yep. Dropping off
And
missionaries.
again, all of
and
which
selling
cost
stuff.
time. There's the church. You can send people into the ministry. But again, it costs time. There's over here in the craft area where you could train some of your people to become craftsmen, but it takes time. Or you can just out and out buy what you need using the cubes you've picked up from all these spots. There's the sales district up here, and as soon as somebody takes the 1 cube that's here, it triggers the market day. And everybody can take everything that they've spent the entire round building and try to sell to the people at the market. So there's all sorts of different stuff going on. The expansion brings in the mill, or not the mill. It brings in the brewery down there where you can pick up beer.
And the inn.
And then it brings in the inn where you can spend your beer to get various cards that will give you just some extra added benefits, some extra bonus
In-game
moves.
scoring or bonus moves, yes.
But as soon as the game ends, when the graveyard fills up, or when the pauper's grave fills up. And then I think with there's graves at sea up here when this fills up. So there's 3 different ways that the game can end, and it's all based on these graveyards. You get victory points if you have people over here, but there's only so many people can go here. And where that ancestor that you decided is the one that dies off, where it dies from determines where he goes in the graveyard. So if he's a council member, he goes into one of these 2 spots. If he died out on the farm, it's one of these spots. If he died at the church, it's one of these. If he was a craftsman, he's over here, and the green was out here in the out here.
And that's called the Chronicles.
The Chronicles.
So you
thank
can
you.
remember these.
Yes.
If they're buried over here, you don't ever remember.
They're
They're
nameless.
just like, I
Yeah,
forgot
which
who
is
that was
sad.
over there.
That's sad. It's a fun game. I
Yes, it
forget
is.
how good this game is until we break it out and play
We
it.
played this a lot when we first got it.
We did.
And then it sat on the shelf for a while because we had played it a lot.
Yeah. I do enjoy this one. It's
yeah.
very, I don't want to say it's thinky, but there are some definite decisions to be made. What color cube do I want? Because I need those green cubes to advance in the what is that called? The council area. I need the brown cubes in order to have anybody go into the ministry. You know, the green
And you
cubes
got
are also used at the sales area,
yeah, at the,
sales
market.
market day. So
And then the whole well, where if you have 3 of the same color
Yes.
cube, you can do any action you want.
yes, if there's no cubes left on a specific action, you can discard 3 of the same and do anything, which I totally
So
forgot
it
about.
doesn't
That would've
make
changed my game.
so once the cubes are gone in certain areas, everything's not blocked. It's not blocked
Right.
out. If you have 3 cubes of the same color, you'll be able to go back there.
The only thing that is mandatory is you have to take a cube every turn. You take a cube, whether you do that action or not, you have to take a cube every turn.
Unless you go to the well.
Yeah, good game. I like it. It's going to stick around.
Okay, next we have Viticulture with
Okay, this one's been a few months since we played it. We played it with Doug and Mary a while back for one of their videos with Quapple and Nerds. So, all right, this is another worker placement. This one's all on a vineyard though. The idea with this one is you're making wine. So everybody has their board, their wine board or their farm board. And on their farm board, you have ways of tracking the types of grapes that you're growing and the types of wine that those grapes are being made into, as well as all of the buildings that you can build. Now, on the main board, you're placing workers out in order to do various things, but this game plays in seasons.
yes.
You do your spring season. I think this is the spring. I could be wrong.
Yes.
Is it spring and then fall?
Spring
Yeah,
and
because you
fall.
harvest in the fall. So in the spring, you might be planting, you might be hiring new people, you might be giving tours. That's building one of your
That's the building
structures
structure.
out here. There's giving tours here. All sorts of stuff that you would see happening on a farm in the spring or on a vineyard in the spring.
Planting.
Now, everybody has so many workers, and there are ways to go down here to train more workers in the fall, and you can get more workers for the following season. Everybody also has one grande worker. Now, this is one of those games that you block people out. You block out, once an area is taken, nobody else can go there. But if you have your grande worker, well,
It doesn't matter.
he's the boss. He can go anywhere he
He's
wants.
the bully.
Right. So he can go and do any action he wants. You got to save him for
When you
later in the
really
round.
need it.
But the trick with this one, and I hope you saved some workers, is because when you do your spring actions, you don't get them back. Those workers stay busy doing what you assigned them to do. And then you get into your fall actions and you use what you have left. If you didn't leave anybody, then you're not
have
doing
no
much
actions,
here.
Yeah.
When you get into winter, everybody comes back in and everybody resets. And then you start over again. Again, don't spend all your workers because you need to use them here.
Then you bid for which turn?
Yes.
Because it's not like, oh, I went on this space, so I got to be first player.
No, you bid.
You bid over there, and it's, what was it as?
The person who goes first doesn't really get much. Depending on where you're going, you're getting a benefit. If you decide you're going last, you actually get a free worker next round. But maybe you're running low on coins, so I'm going to go fourth and get a coin. Or you can grab a victory point, or you can grab some of the extra cards. All of these various cards do different things. Some of them are workers, some of them are more plants, some of just all sorts of different things. So you may want one of the cards, but it may be worth not getting any bonus at all in order to go first next round.
And then you have your fields.
Yes. So yeah, I do like this one. There is a lot to it. We've always joked though, and I think everybody else does too, these are your mama and papa cards. You literally just start the game with them. But
It's the Loki card.
it's the Loki card. Yeah,
This
Papa
one.
looks like Loki.
Or
Interesting,
Tom
huh?
Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston, yeah. But anyway, I like this one. It's going to stick around.
Yeah. Last time we played it, I had a great strategy.
You won that game, if
Yes,
I'm
I
not
know, because
mistaken.
I went in, I made sure I was getting another worker every round.
Yeah, I know.
And by the time I had all my other workers is when you guys started to get workers. and
Because you
realized
kept
that
blocking it.
There's 3 spots there, people. I always got the one that let me
Get
do
a
it
worker
for
for one less. Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever.
But yeah, so I was able to have more actions each turn than you guys, so it worked.
You beat us pretty badly, yeah. Anyway, Viticulture, Essential Edition. It's going to stick around.
Next is Marco Polo.
The
Voyages of Marco Polo.
All right, so I've always liked this game. You've had your issues with it.
Yes.
But you said this one was a little better this time around. Okay. So here is your board. Oop, if I can get it opened. There. Goodness gracious. There's your board. So again, this is a worker placement type of game. It's actually not workers, it's dice placement. Dice are your workers. So on your turn, you have so many dice that you can roll, and there are ways of getting a single dice for the next round type of thing. Each location on the board requires dice in order to activate it. So here's your way to get resources. If you put 1 dice down, you can pick up, depending on the number of that die. So if I lay down a 5 here, then I get to pick up 5 camels. If I lay down a 2 here, I get to pick up 2. They're not provisions. They're cinnamon? No.
Coffee?
Pepper.
Pepper.
I can pick up 2 pepper, or I can pick up, here I have to place 2 dice down to pick up fabric. Up here I have to pick up 3 dice in order to get gold.
And on these, it's your lowest dice
It's
you
right.
put up
It's
there.
the lowest value dice.
So
if you
you-
only put a 1, you're only getting 1 for the
Yeah.
cost of 3 dice. So you kind of want some high dice on here to make use of it. Down here you can just pick up cash. Here's another location you can just pick up cash. Now the trick with this is you don't ever block anybody. But if I lay a 5 here, the next player has to lay a 5 or a 6. You have to increase the value. So if I lay a 5 here, anybody who doesn't have 5s or 6s, they're blocked out. They can't use this
You
location.
don't get no
this round.
camels.
Down here is another way of getting more resources. You can kind of pick and choose, but every dice down there has to be higher or
Make
equal
sure
to
you
or
take
higher.
your 2 camels.
Yes, you forgot. You kept
I
forgetting
forgot that constantly.
Down here are some basically tiles that you're trying to meet the benefits of. You might want 2 camels and 2 gold in order to sell it for so many victory points.
They're contracts.
And they're contracts. Thank you. And you're laying down dice down here in order to pick up 1 or 2 of them. Again, same thing. If I lay down a 6, I have use of all of these. If I only lay down a 3, I only get to look at these first 3. And I can pick up 2 of them out of those first 3. They don't refill till the end of my turn. Over here, you are traveling. This is the travel area. Everybody starts over here in Venezia. This one is Venice. You start over here in Venice, and you are traveling out. And then as you travel, you might have to pay additional things. This little bit here costs 3 camels. This bit costs an extra 7 coins. And then as you get to various locations, you're getting the benefits of those locations. You're putting down your shelters so that you, for the rest of the game, have a benefit of that location. And then on top of everything else, if that weren't all enough to keep track of, it's an asymmetrical power game where everybody gets 1 person, 1 leader, whatever, that essentially breaks one of the cardinal rules of the game. You don't have to roll your dice. You can set them to whatever number you want. You don't have to pay, or you can teleport between the little, what are those called? Yeah, between the little
Mirages?
tents,
I
the
don't know.
mirages, whatever. Yeah, the little halfway points. You can teleport between them. That's the one I had. I used it once, I think. I could never quite get it to line
Yeah, I
up
had
the way
one.
I wanted
It was. I think it was beginning of the game. I was able to start.
Yes,
up.
you started
I
up
got to
here
build a
with
house
it.
automatically
Yep.
here, and then my guy started up here
Yep.
instead of in Venezia.
Yes. So those are the two we had. And then, like I said, I remember the guy that didn't roll, but there were all sorts of ones that you got special benefits. Like I said, it broke some cardinal rule of the game. And every single cardinal rule was broken by one of them.
Yeah, and everybody will look at the other player's card and say,
Yeah.
oh, yours is a lot better than mine. It's like,
They're
no,
all
yours is really good.
powerful. They are all really powerful.
My camel got out.
Oh, a camel did. He escaped. Okay, here we go. Anyway, we're going to hold on to it. I do very much enjoy the game, and I'm glad you enjoyed it more this time around because I do enjoy it.
I enjoyed it a little bit more.
A little bit
still
more?
not a big fan of it. But
Okay. So in other words, I got to find other people to play with. All right. Anyway, darn it, I had a 50-50 chance and I got it wrong. Anyway, the Voyages of Marco Polo, and it is going to stick around. All right, last one.
and the last V on the thing is, can you guess?
Oh, yeah, the name's not on the front. You're right.
Nope.
It is Viscounts of the West Kingdom. Now, we do have the new boxes. We
Yes.
got rid of all of our old boxes and upgraded to the bigger boxes so it would hold all of the expansions and stuff.
And not have to fight trying to fit everything in there.
Yes. All right, so this board is modular. It's double-sided, and the sides determine player count, essentially, are determined by player count, I should say. But you lay out the 5 sides in a circle, and then there are little peg holes that hold it all together once you put the castle ruin into the center of it. I don't want to say this is the heart of the game, but it's the heart of the board. So
It can easily win you the game.
it can easily win you the game, yes.
Because you spammed that one a lot.
It's just because
Last game we
it's the
played.
way it worked out. It wasn't that I intended to, it's just the way my cards worked out. All right, so you have one figure that you have this big horseman figure that runs
Your
around the
Viscount.
board. Your Viscount, yes. Why can't I get this open? Thank you. You have your Viscount on horseback with the flag that runs around the board. Right there. You see him? There we go. All right, so he runs around the board going from location to location. And there are a number of different actions that can be taken on this, and you are taking actions based on the cards that are on your board. Now, everybody starts with a player board. And on that player board, you've got certain symbols, and I don't know if you can see those, certain symbols in each of the blank areas. At the start of the game, you get to make use of those. You will never see them again for the rest of the game, though. But you play a card, and you do your action based on that card and where your person ends up. Each of these symbols give you bonuses toward that action. There are 4 different actions you can take. On your turn, you are playing a card down and you're moving your Viscount based on the number on that card. And the cards are they right there? That works. So like this guy would let me move 1 space, and I'm doing that based on this number up here in the corner. He would also give me a trade action. That's what the blue bag is for. So if trade actions are done along up top, and it's all identified by this blue bag up here, and if I turn in 2 blue bags, if I have 2 bags on my board somewhere, then I can take whatever that action is. In this case, I would get an inkwell, an ink bottle. So if I end up here, I have the blue bag off of him. I also have 2 blue bags off of my board because I haven't covered that up yet. Then I can do this action. If I have some coins, I could add coins to it and get another inkwell. I can supplement coins to make up the trade action. I can also build up here in the back. And building, I'm using the hammer symbol, which is, there's 1 on your board if it's not covered, but they also show up on various characters. And I can build off of my board. Now the building, you have all these buildings up here on the top of your board, and what they cost is up above, anywhere from 3, 5 to 7 hammer symbols. If I don't have enough, I can supplement stone for those hammer symbols. And then I can build one of my buildings up here. And then as soon as I do, I get the benefit of whatever I uncovered. It may be permanent trade symbols. It may be a permanent hammer symbol. It could be adding an extra card to my hand, so now I have 4 cards to choose from instead of just 3. It could be all sorts of things. Anyway, so that's the 2 that are up above. I could choose to go down into the inner ring, and in the inner ring, I can place workers on here if I have this little gold leaf symbol, this little symbol right here on my card or my board. and you use the cards that are already played. So, for example, if I already had 3 cards lined up here, one guy gets kicked off into my discard pile. I play my new card down, the others 2 moves over, but I've got 3 characters here now. And I use the symbols on all 3 characters to make up whatever symbol I'm looking for my action. I'm going to come back to the build because that one's a little tricky, but, or not the building, the placing workers. But your 4th action is these little prayer books here. And each of these prayer books have a symbol on them showing how many crosses you need, and then they give you some sort of a benefit. And that is, what is the name of that? It's the...
Transcribe a manuscript. Okay.
So I could do the manuscript action and take whatever, because each one of these has a big old pile on them. Take the top one off of it, and I get now a permanent, well, it's not a permanent ability. It's a one-time ability, but there are different ribbon colors on them, and those are endgame scoring. So there's that, and then there's the place workers. And every time there's a chart up here, depending on how many of these little gold leaf symbols you play, how many workers you get to place out. And you place them out into whichever area you're facing. And you put them out into the bottom row. And if there's 3 of your color there, then 1 goes up and 1 goes over, 1 goes over. And you keep advancing people as long as there's 3 of your color in any one area. Then there comes a point where at the end of your turn, if there's more than 3, you have to have 4 of any color on any location. Whoever's turn it is that just triggered that to happen gets to remove one of them and send it back to their person, send it back to their player. Now the player does get some benefit out of it, but they do lose a worker on the tower. If you get to the center, you end up getting extra, there's a bonus for being in the center at the end of the game. So I like this game. I always have. This is one of my favorite, I think, of the West. I think this is my favorite of the West Kingdom series. I know it's not
Not my favorite.
I know.
Mine's more Scholars and, what was it?
Well, Scholars is South Tigris.
Yes, I know.
This is
The West Kingdom is Architects.
Yes. No, I know.
But
you like
of the
Architects.
Shem Phillips ones, it's Scholars and
I think
Raiders.
this is my favorite of the West Kingdom. I think of all of them, Wayfarers is probably my favorite.
You really like Wayfarers.
I do really like Wayfarers.
I'm okay with Wayfarers of that series, though. It's Scholars for me.
Yeah. I think they've all got their thing. They're similar enough that they're easy to get into, but at the same time, they're all so different. All right. That is Viscounts of the West Kingdom. It is going to stick around because, we have the whole collection. Why would we get rid of one? And that's it for this episode.
And the V's.
And the V's.
Stay tuned for the W's.
Yep. I was just about to say, and on to the W's after the 24.
Yep. But until then, thanks for watching.